My people, peep game, got some bomb ass information for you. I want to show you how the dominant society plays chess. The person I'm going to use to give this example is Bill O'Reilly, formerly of HBO. This is a conversation that he was having with Sean Hannity. First thing I want to do is read just a piece of what he said. Uh, I'm going to start right here. But the wider picture is, and you pointed it out in your monologue, the far left wants to drive the narrative that the USA is an evil country. Why? They want to change everything: the Constitution, the economic system, the leadership, the electoral system. They want across the board change. They use stuff like this to do it. These players are being used. Hannity goes on to say, how does this end? First of all, the league is going to have to do something. And what they should do, as I wrote a column for The Hill about it, is say, we know some of you don't like the country or want to get a point across, but this is the wrong forum. This is not the forum to do it. So if you don't want to stand up for the national anthem, stay in the locker room and then come out. We don't want any political demonstrations because we don't allow pro-American demonstrations. So as you can see, people with his mindset, they want to nip this in the bud as quickly as possible before it blossoms into something much bigger and much uglier. And I'm going to get to that. I want to read another piece that shows you exactly where the real thinkers' minds are. Here it is. O'Reilly. And then the media drive in and the entertainers drive it. But there is a reason why it's happening. A year ago, you didn't hear the words white supremacist. Didn't hear it. Nobody heard it. It was white privilege. And in my Levittown neighborhood, about 8 miles away from Hannity's home, I had guys in undershirts falling apart. Where's my white privilege, all right? That's what you had a year ago. It's morphed into white supremacists now. And people are buying it. Why? Because the far left agents, and I think they're evil, want to destroy the Constitution in the sense that they want it all changed. Who forged it? Slave owners. Thomas Jefferson, George Washington. We can't have a Constitution that they made. We have to have a new one. That's the end game. I read that to you. And I wanted you to peep the mindset. Peep how to play chess. See, this is how people who play chess think. Right now, I would say that the majority of my people, of our people, we're thinking about playing checkers. You know, with the demonstrations that's going on now, we're thinking about the right now, the impact we can have right now, the minimum impact, the impact of maybe we can get Kaep a job back. I think that's about the extent of what we're considering right now, what we're aiming for. But look at what the chess players are concerned with. They're concerned with something much bigger, much larger. They're concerned with black people possibly obtaining some power. They don't like to share power, and that's what they are concerned with. Are these black people actually beginning to play chess and are about to position themselves to wrestle some power from us? Oh, hells no. We're going to have to nip this in the bud. Fight went out, damn. All right. So let me break this down to you. Where he said the wider picture is, and you pointed out in the monologue, the far left wants to drive the narrative that the USA is an evil country. They want to change everything. The Constitution, the economic system, the leadership, the electoral system. They want across the board change. Reading that, you don't have to be much of a psychologist to understand what his concern is, what his and many of white America's concern is. They believe that we're going to leverage ourselves into position to where we can wrestle some of that power from them, where we can actually ask for some change. The Constitution, the economic system, the leadership, the electoral system. They recognize that they have an advantage. They recognize and know that they've had a 300-year head start, an advantage. Though they will play dumb and deny it if you ever get into a conversation with them, they'll feign as if they don't know what they're talking about. This right here shows they know exactly what the situation is. They've had a 300-year head start, a 300-year advantage, and they're afraid right now that we are going to leverage ourselves into a position to where we can demand the Constitution being rewritten, taking away their affirmative action, their advantage. Oh no, the black people are going to level the playing field. And just like in the NFL, when you're playing against a really fast person, a person that's faster than you, if we're even, I'm leaving. That's their concern. They're denied to the end, but that is their concern. We're going to level the playing field. Colin Kaepernick, I don't know if he has any idea of what he has opened up. I've seen it from the jump, and I've been yelling it from the rooftops. This is what we need to do. We've been wondering about how are we going to obtain some resources in order to get to some power, because most of the resources are sold up. The only thing that we have right now are our bodies and our talents. Our bodies and our talents are our resources. Our bodies and our talents are making this country billions of dollars every year. However, our bodies and our talents are owned by white men. Now, some of you will nitpick and say Jews. The Jew is not a race. White men. Our bodies, talents, and gifts are owned by white men. They're making billions of dollars while breaking the labor off a paycheck. Some of the paychecks are small, some of them are large. You know, you have the practice squad players, and you have the LeBron James, the Michael Jordans, etc. But make no mistake, they're still just getting a paycheck. They do not own anything. This situation gives us a window to where if we play our cards right, we can leverage this into whereas we have more ownership in a multi-billion-dollar industry of entertainment, one which is powered by us, powered by our talents and abilities. And we should be using that industry to better our situation in this country and in this world. But we can only do that if we have ownership. And as you can see from the dialogue that I just read to you between Sean Hannity and Bill O'Reilly, some of their real thinkers, movers and shakers, they are considering this. They're already thinking about it. It already has them shaking. Going further, They're saying that we want to change the Constitution, the economic system, the leadership, the electoral system. This has them just quaking in their boots. We're going to take away their advantage. They actually see that possibility happening if what's going on now continues to grow and grow. They think that eventually one of us smart black people gonna say, well, hey, why don't we ask for this? And while we're at it, why don't we ask them to rewrite this Constitution? Whereas we're not even recognized as citizens. They are afraid of losing their advantage. It's not about the flag. It might be about the flag for some of the poor, trailer trash, the non-thinkers. They may be thinking it's all about the flag, but the real thinkers are playing chess, and they see that possible chess move, and they are right now considering how can they counter that, or better yet, how can they cut it off before we see it, and we begin to make that move, forcing them to have to counter or admit defeat. So black people, this is our chance right here. This is our chance to actually get our hands on some of this, to get our hands on some of this power, to take advantage of our own gifts and talents, to create an actual industry for ourselves, one which will build legacy and wealth for many generations to come. Make no doubt about it, though. There will be fighting. The horse will buck. Every horse bucks before it is broken. And this horse called white supremacy will buck like crazy. You know, if we take it there to where we're trying to get power, and we are making our demands to them, and it gets to the point where there are strikes. You know, they'll try to go the route of where, fine, we don't need y'all. We'll just put our white guys out here as defensive backs and running backs and wide receivers. And we all know that is not going to work. They will try it, though, because they do not want to relinquish that power. All we have to do is stand fast, though. Just stand fast. Stay focused. Keep our eyes on the damn prize. But first, we need to realize this on a much bigger level. And I am bringing this to you. Share this, whatever. The point of this video is this Kaepernick situation is cracking the door open to something much bigger. Something that white supremacy is actually fearing. This is not stopping at the flag level, the national anthem level. This is headed towards something bigger. And then on top of that, it can go bigger than us wrestling power away from the entertainment industry. You know, that's another video. It can even go to whereas we employees can wrestle power away from the employers, because that really needs to happen in this country. It's time for employers to get a reality check. We have more and more states committing to the, what's it called, work at will to work, whatever, where they're doing away with the unions and they're firing people, and they proudly boast, hey, if I want to fire someone, I can fire someone. I have every right. It's about time to get them back in check. It's about time to get the employers back in check. But that's another video we'll talk about at a later date. But I just want you to peep the game. Peep that game that Bill O'Reilly and Sean Hannity just dropped. Think like a chess player. Peep the game. I'll hit you later. 1.